Billionaires flaunt fleets of supercars and gold-plated phones every day on Instagram. But one of world football's richest forwards still borrows a friend's cracked iPhone to call his mum. That single grainy photo of Sadio Mané stepping off Liverpool's team bus, screen shattered like a spiderweb, sparked memes worldwide. Why would a man earning $15 million a year refuse to buy a new handset? The answer begins far from Anfield, on a sun-baked footpath that snakes through an almost forgotten corner of Senegal. Bambali is an easy place to overlook on a map. Clay brick huts, roosters crowing before dawn, children chasing a tape-wrapped rag ball through ochre dust. 10 people once crowded into one of those huts, living by candle flame and prayer. When Mané's father died from an untreated illness, poverty became brutal reality. Yet inside the 7-year-old's heart, a seed of defiance took root. He promised classmates, half joking, half prophecy, that one day they'd watch him on TV. Most laughed. A brave few believed. Little did any of them know he'd soon rewrite the village's destiny and change how the world defines wealth. But first, we have to witness how a barefoot boy turned a half-deflated cloth ball into a one-way ticket out. Sadio's earliest memories smell of wet earth and wood smoke, dawn chores in the rice fields, praying beside his mother, sprinting to the makeshift pitch before the sun climbed high enough to blister bare feet. Neighbors nicknamed him Ballon Bout, the wizard of the ball, because the rag sphere stuck to his toes as if stitched by magic. Though food was scarce, confidence was plentiful. Every time he scored, he pointed to the sky and whispered a promise to his late father. "One day, I'll build you a hospital right here." A promise is powerful, but a bus ticket costs real money. So, how does a boy who owns nothing reach the capital? The 2002 World Cup changed everything. When Senegal stunned defending champions France, an electric surge of belief swept the nation. 15-year-old Sadio woke before dawn, tucked his life savings, roughly $2, into his sock, and hitched rides north toward Dakar. At Generation Foot Academy, the coach sneered at his torn shorts, yet reluctantly tossed him a bib. 10 minutes later, after 2 nutmegs and a sprint that left defenders gasping, the same coach chased him down the touchline with registration forms flapping in the wind. A Mets scout phoned France in 2011. "There's a winger here who runs like electricity." Papers were signed, visas stamped, and Sadio kept the life-changing news secret until a neighbor screamed at the flickering TV, "That's our boy!" In Lorraine's biting winter, he perfected pressing drills, cooked peanut stew for homesick teammates, and mailed every spare euro back to Bambali. Within 18 months, headlines in Dakar read, "Local kid rescues Mets from relegation scare." Europe had discovered him, but Europe was about to discover something else: his refusal to worship money. From Metz to Salzburg, from Southampton to Liverpool, each step elevated his salary and his spotlight. Anfield witnessed peak Mané, blistering pace, fearless headers, a Champions League trophy, and 120 decibel cheers that shook the cop. Yet inside a dressing room lined with Louis Vuitton wash bags, Sadio's nylon pouch looked almost comically out of place. Teammate Jorginho Wijnaldum urged him to upgrade. Mané laughed. "A shiny bag doesn't pay school fees," he quipped, then sprinted out for another double session. That attitude birthed the viral image, one cracked phone that cracked open a global conversation. The photo exploded. Pundits mocked his thrift until reporters dug deeper and learned he had wired over £500,000 to build Bambali's first hospital, secondary school, a petrol station to cut food prices, and a free 4G mast so villagers could Google symptoms before illnesses turned fatal. A new iPhone would have cost him pocket change. He preferred to fund antibiotics and notebooks. Not long after, a journalist saw him retaping that same phone and asked why. He shrugged. "It still calls my mum. That's all it needs to do." Twitter went silent, then erupted in admiration. But that cracked screen was just the surface. The deeper you dig, the more astonishing his generosity becomes. When the pandemic ravaged supply chains, Mané personally ordered 20 ventilators for Senegal. His unwritten social contract with Bambali now sends every household $100 a month, on one condition: every child must attend the school he built. He funds teacher salaries, a midwife program, and microloans for women selling vegetables at dawn markets. Locals say his visits feel more like a reunion than a royal arrival. He wanders crop rows in flip-flops, listening to farmers' worries, promising nothing he can't deliver, then delivering quietly. Yet humility didn't shield him from controversy. April 2023. Bayern Munich's locker room erupted when a frustrated Leroy Sané uttered an insult Mané couldn't ignore. One punch, a split lip, and German tabloids feasted. Critics predicted a downfall. Instead, Mané apologized publicly, paid a six-figure club fine, and met Sané privately. The incident sped his move to Al Nassr. Cue more jeers about oil money. But within weeks, he was volunteering with local relief agencies, packing food boxes long after cameras switched off. January 2024 brought new headlines when the 31-year-old married 18-year-old Aisha Tamba in Dakar. Western outlets blasted the age gap. Senegalese elders pointed to cherished customs. Mané said only, "Respect is universal." The clash exposed cultural fault lines and his uncanny calm amid social media firestorms. Through every storm, one philosophy keeps him grounded. Asked why he never unboxes the 24-karat gold iPhone Liverpool gifted him, he replied, "A diamond-studded phone won't heal malaria." His daily driver remains a 2014 Audi. His watch, a battered Casio. Friends tease him, but he counters with a grin. "When I die, the number of Ferraris in my garage won't appear on my gravestone." Unsurprisingly, rumors of a Liverpool homecoming refuse to die, yet insiders insist any transfer hinges less on salary than on the project's social impact. Mané wants Liverpool's charitable foundation to expand into West Africa if he returns. Talks are ongoing, which brings us full circle, from a cracked phone to a village reborn, from clay floors to floodlights. The concrete hospital in Bambali now bears a simple plaque, donated by Sadio Mané in memory of my father. It's the lone place his name appears in gold letters. So the next time a shattered screen flickers across your feed, remember, wealth measured by digits fades, impact etched in human lives endures. Now it's your turn. Smash that like button so more people hear stories that matter. Drop a comment naming another athlete whose generosity deserves the spotlight. I might uncover their tale next. And hit subscribe, because the game's greatest dramas don't always unfold on the pitch. Sometimes they start with a broken phone and end with a village reborn. See you in the next story.